How do you break through when working on a difficult project? And I've been in this trade long enough and I've spoken with enough project sponsors to know that what they're really asking is, how do you stop your project from becoming a train wreck? You can see it, it feels out of control, no one is aligned, and the very first thing I will ask a client is it difficult because of the people you're working with? Is it difficult because of the actual scope of the project? Or is it just your perception of the project that it is difficult? And it's usually the latter. It's usually box number 3, in that it's your perception, and that's a great place to be because it means with a bit of focus and a bit of a pause, you can turn around a difficult project. So what are the keys? There's really 2 simple things you can do to turn around a difficult project and in fact make it a great one. And that is 1, communication. Are you communicating with the right people at the right time in a way that resonates with them? Most of the time you're not, and you can turn that around overnight. The second thing you can do is genuinely engage all stakeholders who are involved in the project. Have very strong relationship management, and that's from the very top to your board or your executive level leaders who are involved in the project, right down to the front line or to customers, whoever it is that's going to be impacted by the change. Build strong relationships with them, have consistent communications and messaging to all of them, and it will become a very successful project very, very quickly. And I've got a story to share of how I did this with a client. So in terms of difficult, we did have a difficult scope compared to other projects, in that we were putting in 3 rather important systems all at the same time. So we had a human capital management system, we had a rostering and time and attendance system, and we had a payroll system, all going in at once, all replacing legacy products and all having to be connected via integrations. And there was no room for error in terms of, the accuracy of the data and the flow of data. It had to be correct, and we had to do it absolutely compliant 100% of the time. So the scope was quite difficult. Of course, we had lots of stakeholders throughout the business that had to be engaged, and external stakeholders too, such as the vendor, legal teams, Fair Work when it came to paying people, and it had to be a very, dare I say it, well-oiled machine. And by the time I was called into the project to help out, things were a little bit lost. They were adrift. And so it was feeling quite overwhelming and quite difficult for people. So what did we do? The first thing I did was I understood deeply where every stakeholder group was at. I met with them, workshopped them, got up to speed. This was an in-flight project, so got up to speed at exceptional pace to really empathize with their story and where they were at. Then, of course, once I got to know them, I could really get the best out of those stakeholders to move us forward. The other thing that I put in place with the program manager was consistent and to the point executive level messaging. We were reporting weekly in the same format, raising risks early, and being very, very clear of where we were today, where we planned to be tomorrow, and had we achieved it or not. And that allowed for those wheels to start moving, the momentum to start moving forward, and we did make some fantastic progress on that project. But it was just down to those 2 things, communication and really strong stakeholder engagement. And so I leave you with this message. There aren't difficult projects. You can turn any project into a successful project if you stop, focus, and invest in people and invest in communicating with them correctly. And that is why we call it integrated change management that goes hand in hand with project management. If you're curious about that, of course, ask us a little bit about our P4E change management methodology, and we can show you how we do it in everyday projects.